What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Tactic Tester. We have had some fantastic results on the tester so far, and today we welcome a brand new creator onto the series. It's going to be an interesting one. His tactic is very interesting. I think it could do pretty well at Arsenal. But before we get into everything, guys, I'm going to remind you of the current state of our leaderboard and, more importantly, the rules of this series. Okay, guys, kicking things off with the rules. The tactic must have a proven record of success or achievement. All tactics will use the same team and fixtures for the test. That will be Arsenal and a season in the Premier League. No transfers will be allowed to be made in either transfer window by the team. Tactics will be loaded in and the whole season will be simulated, and all points, wins, goals scored and win percentage will be collected and displayed to find the best creator tactic out there. As I said in the introduction, we have had some good tactics on the tester already, so let's have a little reminder of our current leaderboard. So last weekend we had Pumpster on the channel with his 4-4-2 asymmetric, which did really well. Picked him up 2 trophies, finished in 4th in the Premier League, 76 points, 199 goals. His goal return was absolutely staggering, did very well. 3.16 goals per game and an impressive 71.43% win ratio. As you can see though, 𝘼𝙗𝙗 Gareth is still top of the tactic tester leaderboard with his tactic, which won the Premier League, 99 points, which is staggering, 177 goals, 2.95 goals per game, and that all-important win ratio of 85%. So let's get into the game and take a look at today's tactic. So then, guys, we are back at Arsenal for another edition of the tactic tester, and we have another new creator on the series today. We welcome in Jamie, or Tarrantino, as you've probably seen him on Twitter and stuff like that. It's fantastic. Started off as a blogger, got a great website. He's been part of organizing all of the community tournaments as well. He's part of my Discord as well, and that's how he got in touch about using this tactic on the tactic tester. I reached out saying that we needed a tactic for this weekend, and he stepped up. This is his tactic, Tarrantino ball. It's very interesting. When he sent me the shape, I was like, this is going to be interesting to see how this works for Arsenal, and we will run through things relatively quickly here. We've got a sweeper keeper on defending goal with the additional instructions of tackle harder and take fewer risks. If you don't know how to add these, guys, you just go onto the player and you go onto the edit, and then you press take fewer risks and tackle harder. Pretty self-explanatory. All the ones that come with the role don't have the cog or the red circle next to them. They are just part of the role that is set up. Then he's got ball playing defenders, 2 of them. It's centre back, left and right. So they come with the instructions of hold position and take more risks. But he's added the instructions of tackle harder and pass it shorter. Just the 2 centre backs though. Inverted wing backs on the left and on the right, they have the same instructions. So the inverted wing back on support comes with range from position, sit narrower, cross less often, cut inside with the ball, and he's added tackle harder, close down more, shoot less often, and pass it shorter. We also have a deep line playmaker. This is my bread and butter, this sort of position. Deep line playmaker, again on support. So that comes with hold position, take more risks, and shoot less often. And he's added mark tighter, tackle harder, close down more, and dribble more. I'm very intrigued to see how this is going to work, because the DLP is going to sit there. The inverted wing backs are going to kind of tuck in around here somewhere. So the right one will go there, the left one will go there. And then he's got 2 wingers in front. So on the right hand side, it is a winger on attack. So obviously it comes with these instructions, as you can see, with the additional ones of mark tighter, tackle harder, shoot less often, and pass it shorter. But that is the winger on attack. On the left hand side, it's a winger on support. So they have the exact same things, except from cross more often and cross from the byline, I think. Oh, it's cross from the byline and stay wider. Oh no, okay. There's 2 different instructions and my eyes can't figure it out on quick first glance. But yes, added pass it shorter, shoot less often, tackle harder, and mark tighter. Shadow striker, very key role for a lot of tactics this season. We see a lot of the shadow striker on attack. Move into channels, get further forward, take more risks, and dribble more are the default instructions. He's got mark tighter, tackle harder, shoot less often, and pass it shorter. Up top, 2 advance forward, slightly different roles on what he expects from them. So the one on the right then has pass it shorter, take fewer risks, roam from position, close down more, tackle harder, mark tighter. And the one on the left doesn't have the roam from position, Okay, interesting. So they has the rest of the exact added instructions, except from roam from position. It's a fully custom tactical style with the mentality of positive. In possession then, this is what we're looking at. So he plays with a fairly wide attacking width, passes into space, overlaps on the left and the right, and plays his way out of defense. Standard passing directness, higher tempo, never wasting time. In the final third, low crosses, work the ball into the box, run at defense. Seems like it could work quite nicely with Arsenal. I'm intrigued to see how the overlaps work. I'm intrigued to see how the overlaps work with inverted wing backs. Anyway, in transition, counter press, counter when the possession's been lost. Slow pace down is an interesting one. Distribute to fullbacks, and distribution type is roll it out. Out of possession, using the offside trap, much higher line of engagement, higher defensive line. Focus on forcing the opposition outside on the defensive with extremely urgent press intensity and preventing short goalkeeper distribution. So that is the tactic. As we do, we will do a quick pick so you guys can see who will occupy some of these positions with the Arsenal team. So Leno in goal, Gabriel and Holding was kind of self-explanatory. Bellerin and Maitland-Niles as the inverted wing backs. Thomas Partey as the DLP. Saka on the left wing, Willian on the right wing. Obviously, we do have Mesut Ozil. This database, this game mode was set up at the start of the game, so this is based off of the initial database that you can get on Football Manager, so hence why Mesut Ozil is here instead of Martin Odegaard. Then Lacazette and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang up top. So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to simulate the whole season. I'll be back at the end of the season to see how this tactic has gone. So then, guys, we are at the end of the season, and it looks like it's been another successful year for Arsenal, finishing in third inside the Premier League. Despite being 10 points behind Manchester City, the gap between themselves in third and Manchester United in fifth is 10 points. So I think it's a good return. Man City have just absolutely dominated it in this instance. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang with 46 goals, highest average rating for him and most player of the matches, shows he's had a very good year. David Luiz picked up 20 yellow cards. 20. That's loads. That is a ridiculous volume. Anyway, we go over to the competitions tab, the all-important competitions tab, and this is what we see. Oh god, they've added in a friendly cup. Ignore the friendly cup, guys. Please do ignore the friendly cup. So, runners up in the Community Shield means they lost to Liverpool. They won the Carabao Cup, so that's a very good, nice one to pick up a domestic trophy. Finished as runners up in the FA Cup. Who won the FA Cup? Fulham. That's going to be disappointing. Knocked out in the semi-finals of the Europa League by PSG. They should not be there. And then finishing in third inside the Premier League. I think this is a pretty good season. Anyone with a top four finish, especially picking up a trophy en route, I think is a very good season. In terms of the schedule then, let's take things out. Let's take out all the competitions and start off with the Community Shield. Took on Liverpool, and that's not gone well, has it? Obviously, they are still learning the tactic at this point. So, yeah, 5-1 to Liverpool. Aubameyang getting the sole goal for Arsenal. 2 goals from Salah, 2 goals from Mane, and a Kieran Tierney own goal, sort of really putting a dampener on the Community Shield. So let's have a look at the Carabao Cup. They won that one, and let's see who they beat en route. That is a very good way to win it, to be perfectly honest. All Premier League teams, which you don't necessarily expect. Great results against Leeds, West Brom, and especially Manchester United with that 4-0. Eddie Nketiah with 2, Reece Nelson with 1, and Kieran Tierney with 1. Beating Man City in the semi-final again, 4-2. Very, very good result. And then beating Tottenham, old rivals Tottenham, in the final, 4-2 at Wembley. Goals from Aubameyang, Gabriel, Saka, and Mohamed El-Neni being the deciding factors there. Dele Alli and Bergwijn getting the goals for Spurs. In terms of the FA Cup then, they were runners-up. How was the run? Now, this is much easier to get to the final, much easier route. So Crawley in the third round. Obviously, you can only play who gets put in front of you, but Crawley in the third round, beat West Ham then in the fourth round. Fifth round, toppled Southampton in extra time, scoring 3 goals in extra time. Then they beat Villa at Villa Park. So again, that's not too bad. Then coming up against Championship opposition in the semi-final in Preston North End. I'm very intrigued. Who was he as the semi-final? Fulham, Burnley. Where did all the big boys get knocked out? Chelsea got knocked out by Fulham on penalties. What about Liverpool and the Manchester clubs? So Spurs go out there. Where are they? So Manchester United lost to Bournemouth. Crazy. Manchester United lost to Bournemouth. Did Man City and Liverpool both go out here? They must have done, right? Come on, eyes. The Liverpool lost to Aston Villa. And I can't see Man City. Man City lost to Manchester United. Okay, so that one's a little bit more understandable. But then losing to Fulham in the final. Rather disappointing that. Goals from Willian and 2 from Ozil were not enough for Arsenal. And then goals from Mitrovic and 𝘼𝙗𝙗 were the deciding factors. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪𝙩 𝙈𝙚 scored 2 goals, which I can only assume are 2 set pieces, as he is a centre-back. And Leno got an 8 in this game, so did Arsenal get absolutely annihilated? It looks like they did, you know. It looks like they did. A 4xG for Fulham. 4xG with missed penalty as well. Jesus Christ. Yeah, looks like Arsenal really deserved to lose this game. There must have been some injuries here because Thomas Partey should not be playing there. Kolasinac should not be playing there. But there we go. Unfortunately, losing in that. Let's have a look at the Europa League. Obviously, losing to PSG is kind of what you expect. PSG shouldn't be in that competition. So beat Cluj, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 Poznan and Dinamo Zagreb in the groups. Did pretty well there. First knockout round going against Roma. So it's a relatively tough one for the first round of the Europa League. Coming through that one 5-1 on aggregate. Then taking on PSV. What a game this is, by the way. 5 away goals for Arsenal. All but saw them through. Beating PSV 3-2 at home as well. All Premier League quarter final here. Taking on Leicester City 3-2 in the home leg and 2-1 at the King Power. Good solid result there. And then coming up against PSG is kind of what you would expect, isn't it? Hector Bellerin getting sent off in the 13th minute again does not help things. Also, playing Pablo Mari at centre back is not what you want in a game of this magnitude. David Luiz and Pablo Mari at centre back away against Mbappe and all that sort of stuff is just not the one. Mbappe got 2 goals, Di Maria got the 3rd, basically securing their path with the 3 away goals. And then in Paris, same goal scorers, 2 for Kylian Mbappe and 1 for Angel Di Maria. Not a million miles apart in terms of minutes either. So that is disappointing. Who did win the Europa League? I wonder. PSG, as you would expect, absolutely smashed Real Sociedad. Okay, so the final look then. The last thing to look at is the Premier League. Got off to a very good start as always. Beat Sheffield United, Fulham, Wolves, Leicester. Disappointing loss to Palace. Their nice result against Spurs and Villa. Following it in Chelsea, Everton, Tottenham. This is a nice little run of results here. Drawing with Burnley, not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. We can get past that. Beating Man City on Boxing Day at home is very good, and then losing the away game at the Etihad is kind of what you do expect. That does happen quite often that they split those games. Moving down into the season then. Tough January with another loss to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace doing the double over Arsenal. Interesting. Southampton, then look at this nice little run that they put together. Wins against Southampton, Leeds, Leicester, Fulham, Wolves, Manchester United, Sheffield United, West Ham. Very good month after losing to Crystal Palace in January and February. March is a little bit wobbly, drawing 2-2 with West Brom before getting beat by Liverpool. And then losing to Brighton 4-3. Adam Lallana with a 90th minute goal there. Very, very interesting to see that. Very solid month of April, but again, that is kind of against the lesser teams. Sorry if you support one of these teams in the Premier League, beating Newcastle, West Ham, Burnley, and West Brom. Scoring a lot of goals, though. It is still scoring a lot of goals. And then the final month of the season is kind of where all the wheels fell off, because they would have played PSG in and around here as well as the FA Cup final. So maybe it was just a case of too many games in one period of time. Beat Brighton, beat Newcastle, lost to Villa, beat Everton, and then lost the last 3 games of the season. But they are tough ones, losing to Chelsea, and they're all away, losing to Chelsea, 7-3 losing to Liverpool at Anfield, and then losing to Manchester United on the final game of the season. Donny van de Beek actually getting some football, who'd have thought it? So let's go into the team report, analyst reports, take a look at this performance. In terms of the general performance, really nice for goals per game in terms of the Premier League, where it was expected goals per game. Arsenal scores a high number of expected goals per 90 minutes compared to the average, completes a relatively average percentage of passes. In terms of the scoring efficiency, this is always one that I like to look at. Aggressive and clinical is just what you like to see. So almost hitting a 15% conversion rate on around 18 and a bit shots per game. Very, very positive attacking tactic, this one. Manages a lot of shots per match, more than the average, and more clinical than a lot of teams. That's down to 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, and like I said up top. In terms of defensive efficiency, this is where I think they could become a little bit unstuck. So they are quiet, but they are also quite leaky. Opposition conversion rate coming in just over 13%, and shot face per game is probably around 11. We face fewer shots per game than the average, but concede more than would be expected. That's probably down to the two centre backs and the inverted wing backs. I think it gives up a lot of space in certain areas. In terms of formations, then obviously here it is, the 4-4-2 diamond wing back wide, coming out with a positive clear cut chances for and against, as you would expect. 54, creating a chance every 27 minutes. That's pretty impressive, but conceding a chance every 40 minutes again is something that maybe need to be refined and tighten things up a little bit. Maybe if you just made these two wing backs, you might have a little bit more success potentially, rather than the inverted wing backs. In terms of formations faced, absolutely decimated the 4-2-3-1 wide, so Tarrantino would have shredded me in this game, coming out with a plus 31 clear-cut chances in terms of the differential. Everything else relatively even, other than the fact that, you know, some of these they didn't really play a large portion of minutes against. Did well against the 4-4-2 as well. Okay, so that is where I'm going to leave things for today. Obviously, I think this has been a good tactic. I'm going to get my calculator out. We're going to take a look at how Tarrantino's got on and have a look at our updated leaderboard. I'll be back for that in just a second, guys. So then here you have it. Tarrantino finds himself in 5th in our leaderboard. It seems like that 5th place spot is the main one for people to go into at the moment. Pumpster was there last week, and now Tarrantino is there in 5th place. His tactic picked up 1 trophy. Obviously, it was that Carabao Cup. Finished 3rd inside the Premier League with 81 points. 194 goals scored, an impressive goal return, only beaten by last week's participant Pumpster. 95 goals conceded though. That's probably where it needs a little bit of work, and also being Arsenal will not help in that capacity. 3.03 goals per game is a very impressive return, and 71.87%, as I said, sees him in 5th on our leaderboard. So that is another tactic tester in the books, and well done to Tarrantino for finishing inside the top 5 of our leaderboard. It's a very impressive tactic, very interesting to see the different shapes and stuff that people do bring forward. If you want to be on the tactic tester, please do join the Discord. The link will be right at the top of the description. Join the Discord. We have a channel for tactic testers. You guys can submit your tactics and get yourself and your tactic onto this series. But that is where I'm going to leave things for today, guys. If you have enjoyed today's video, don't forget to drop a like on it down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. And until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you very soon.